Think about something completely useless. It's called anxiety. The anxious person is wasting money. The anxious person is wearing themselves out over something that doesn't even exist. Because what you're projecting doesn't exist yet. It might happen one day, but today, right now, at this very moment, it doesn't exist. And if it doesn't exist, it shouldn't be taking my time or my energy. I know that saying it sounds easy in theory, but we're all haunted by it. Still, just by realizing what I'm saying, and remembering what anxiety really is, and learning how to fight it, you're already on the right path. You have to work on this. I'm anxious, friend, this doesn't exist yet. What exists is what's happening right here, right now. Today we need to look at the opposite extreme, not the person who's stuck in the past, but the one living in a time that hasn't even come yet. Because while some are trapped in the past, others are trapped in the future, and that number is growing every day. The constant connectivity we live in feeds this anxiety, this illusion that everything is just one click away. We want to solve things that take time instantly. Why? Because anxiety isn't progress, it's exhaustion. So we live running, anxious, restless, we don't savor a meal, we swallow it. We don't enjoy dessert, we just devour it. And Jesus talked about anxiety. You can scream, cry, get angry, it won't change time. Anxiety will not add a single hour to your life. What must happen will happen, whether you like it or not. The problem is that we're facing our demons, our struggles, our crises, worse and worse each time. Because anxiety destroys that false urgency that promises control. I have to stay alert, or I'll lose everything. I have to make it happen. I need to turn my life around. All of that only creates emptiness and deep unhappiness. This rhythm kills your body, your mind, and your spirit. You become a shallow person, weak, sick, someone who hurts the people who love you, who wounds those who care for you, who speaks harshly to those trying to help. And this same anxiety attracts opportunists. Because the anxious person is so desperate for security that when someone good-looking and confident shows up, that's when the opportunist strikes. It's in anxiety that we make terrible decisions, where we sell our souls to the devil. So what do I want to teach you with this? We must trust in God's timing. God has a time for your life, and sometimes, bitter seasons are part of His plan. You and I are patchwork souls, imperfect people. And God, more than just giving us what we want, wants to teach us how to become better people. And being better means becoming more like Him. When we trust in God's timing, we confront anxiety directly. Anxiety tells you, the faster you move, the better. The more calls, messages, and progress, the better. But that's not true. You know what causes most drownings? Panic. If someone remains emotionally calm, even without knowing how to swim, their body can instinctively move in sync, enough to keep them afloat. The problem is, who can stay calm while drowning? They panic, flail, kick, and that's what pulls them under. So, movement doesn't always mean progress. On the contrary, you might be losing money, health, energy, and one of the most valuable things in life, clarity. The clarity to see what's good and what's bad. The faster you run, the less time you have to look around. And sometimes, looking around is essential to truly see what's happening. A mind filled with the wrong things is a waste. There's a difference between walking with direction and running without purpose. Sometimes, all you need to do is sit down and listen. Sit, breathe deeply, and say, Lord, reveal your presence to me. I'm thinking so many foolish thoughts. I feel awful inside. There's bad stuff in me. And sometimes there is something bad inside us, and it needs to be faced, tamed, and removed. But we keep running from one task to another, one meeting after another, never making room for what really matters. To notice what's actually going on. Because when movement becomes activism, it kills our reasoning. We forget why we're doing what we're doing. That's what a sick routine looks like. Routine can protect you. It reminds you of what needs to be done. But when is routine good? When you remember why you're doing what you're doing. I'm taking care of my home because it's where I live. It's where my family is. It's where we share quality time together. I'm going to work because that's how I provide for my home. This is how God blesses me. Even if I'm working 12 hours a day, it's worth it, because I know this sacrifice will bear fruit. When your routine has a purpose, it doesn't destroy you. But when you live on autopilot, robotic, and empty, that kind of meaningless movement just makes time pass faster and leaves you emptier. That's a huge problem. Movement doesn't equal purpose. Now, purpose always brings movement, but not all movement has purpose. I can assure you, every purpose involves movement, but not every movement involves purpose. We talk a lot about depression. Depression has become very common. But I'll tell you something, it's easier to deal with depression than with anxiety. Depression is rooted in what you know. Depression is an excess of the past. I'm not minimizing it, but depression comes from something real. It happened, you know its size, you just need to reframe it. It might have been horrible, cruel, painful, but it existed. Anxiety, on the other hand, is dangerous because it's based on something that doesn't exist. And if it doesn't exist, it has no limit, it can grow infinitely. Depression has a defined size. Anxiety doesn't. The anxious mind goes crazy because the problem keeps growing. Another mistake anxiety causes is treating waiting as wasted time. That's what it does. So I sit here, trusting the Lord. I did my part today. I prayed. I worked. I fulfilled my duties. What I couldn't do, I've left in His hands. But then I can't relax. I can't enjoy a meal. I can't find peace. I'm glued to my phone, bothering people non-stop, because the anxious person not only destroys themselves, they wear out everyone around them. Anxiety fills the whole environment with tension. Everything becomes heavy. The anxious person believes waiting is wasting time, but those who wait on the Lord gain strength. When we devalue waiting, we weaken. Musicians know the value of a pause. The pause prepares the chorus. Speakers know the power of silence. It gives weight to the message. If you speak like a machine gun non-stop, no one can absorb what you say. Silence speaks as loudly as noise, and sometimes silence says even more. You can show more respect by staying quiet than by speaking. Some silences are more powerful than insults. When people see that you could speak but choose to stay silent, they begin to wonder, what's going on inside that mind? Waiting is mysterious. It teaches patience and power. When we stop valuing waiting, God stops preparing us. The Bible says that those who wait become strong, and the opposite is true too. If waiting makes you strong, refusing to wait makes you weak. So here are the two main dangers of anxiety. First, confusing movement with purpose. Second, treating waiting as wasted time. Be careful with both. Jesus' rhythm was never about rushing to do things, but about obeying the Father's will. I'm not worried about doing it fast. I'm worried about doing it right. I'm not worried about marrying soon. I'm worried about marrying in obedience. But what about my needs? My need is to trust and take care. When urgency and hurry start dictating your pace, you're sending a message to heaven. God isn't enough for me. Jesus was never in a rush. His ministry was solid, built not on speed, but on obedience. Change your life to follow that rhythm. Following the rhythm of Jesus means understanding that it's not about how much you do, or how fast, but about walking in obedience. If everything I do is done in obedience, I'll always be moving at the right speed. But how do I know I'm moving too fast, when what you're doing makes you disobey? It might look good, it might seem smart, but if it breaks a principle, it's wrong. Speed is only good when it's done with obedience. If you're moving fast and still obeying, you're fine. But if you're moving fast and breaking principles, losing faith, peace, or patience, stop. That speed doesn't please God. Before you go, like the video, leave a comment, and subscribe to the channel. It really helps spread this reflection to more people. And remember, the right time is God's time.